1% doubt about it, I won't send it.
And the companies shaping the future.
Linear television will die over time.
The Media Show, today at 4:30 on the BBC News Channel.
This is BBC News. Welcome if you're watching here in the UK or around the world. I'm Vaughan. The headlines. Aid agencies call for better access to the earthquake disaster zones from Turkey getting into Syria as the number of people killed in both countries rises to nearly 25,000.
Over on that side of the border, there's a constant sound of sirens, of heavy machinery, of people working. There's none of that here. Down there are small children removing the rubble.
People are still being pulled out alive from under the rubble in Turkey more than 120 hours after the first earthquake hit. The UN aid chief calls the scale of the disaster and the response to it unprecedented.
What is so amazing is that people are still, as you know, Liz, coming out of the rubble alive 6 days in. So it's shocking. It's also, in the perverse sense, quite heartening.
In other news, US fighter jets shoot down an unidentified aircraft over Alaska after President Biden gave the order to seek and destroy. Troops are trying to salvage the wreckage. In the UK, 3 people have been arrested following clashes with police outside a hotel, providing refuge for asylum seekers on Merseyside in northwest England. Hello and welcome to the programme. We're going to start, of course, in Turkey and Syria with the latest on the earthquakes there. The United Nations aid chief, so the person basically in charge of humanitarian responses for the UN, has been visiting and been speaking to our correspondent there, outlining some of the details, namely that it's the worst disaster to hit the region in a century. We can take you live to Turkey right now. This is what's happening. This is President Erdogan giving an address to the press there. We are keeping across what he's saying. If he says any new lines, any new details, we will bring them to you a little later. Right now, though, I want to bring you the difference between the aid response in Turkey and in Syria. Our correspondent, Quentin Somerville, is in northern Syria, right on the border. And if you listen to what he says now, we can get a sense of the difference between the aid response in Turkey and in parts of Syria.
This is the town of Haram in northwest Syria. There's a bit of activity here, but nothing like you see in terms of activity on the other side, on the Turkish side of the border. The border is literally just across that hill. The people here have lost about 700 buildings, another 4,000 or so are unsafe. So they're living in tents. If I can just swing around here,